Hello everyone, welcome back to Not Celeste, to Talos Principle Reawakened with dev commentary and crackpot philosophy. We are about to exit the Egypt world. We're about to complete the Egypt world. This episode might be a little shorter
age of chaos, there were other gods,
because I have
old gods.
Something to do in an hour
For
20.
all their power, they could not save their world. Thus I was made, and I shall preserve this world forever, for you and your generations. That is my purpose.
No, it's not. You're wrong. Easter egg. Entry denied. 2014 12/11. That was the date of the original release, I think. No, Elohim, your purpose is the purpose to preserve the world that died before, but not actually, a slightly roboticized version. No commentary in this one? I have it on, right? Yep. Osiris. Now I will tell you of the many perils you will face in your journey through the Duat. Listen well, for the challenges that lie before you are great, and if you do not prove yourself worthy, you may never reach the eternal reed fields of Osiris, and you may be lost forever. From the second death there is no awakening. The scribe brought forth a great papyrus and carefully unfolded it before the dying man. And the dying man beheld that it was the map of the Duat, showing the many paths that led to Tower of Anubis, where his heart was to be weighed. On each of the many paths, which threaded through the Duat like the infinite threads woven by Neith, there were marked the dangers that a traveler must face. Also, there were great walls of iron that none but the gods could cross, and gates made of purest light, so the traveler could not avoid the trials that had been decreed, and could only proceed toward the tower by proving his worth, thus earning the key to each sacred gate. So I bet this Osiris story is metaphorical in some way to the story of Talos Principle. I'm not entirely sure how. Chat log Charlie. Man, you know what really freaks me out? What? The human body decomposes quite quickly, so all the information stored in chemicals in our brains will be gone really quickly. Dude, but computers and books last a long time, so all our messages, our ideas, our books, it'll all be out there. Our porn, even being transmitted through space. Yeah, our porn too, I guess. Will all be gone, but the works of Aristotle will still exist. So will Star Trek, Firefly, Babylon 5, Blade Runner, Lord of the Rings, that stuff, Shakespeare, Byron, hell, even video games. WTF, dude? Yeah, imagine if aliens find those. It'll be definitely a biological, psychological, sociological study. Archive continues to grow, attempting to maintain a semblance of order as difficult as expected. Lost 7 people this week. Statistically speaking, trend should increase. Must focus on realistic goals. Too little time to grieve. Yeah, in-game we haven't learned about the disease yet. Alright, there's some commentary over there. I remember this star puzzle was really fun, really challenging.
At one point we reached what we could call the first draft, the first version of the text, and I had not really established a strong relationship with Croteam yet. I was kind of, you know, the new guy who was brought in by the other new guy, so I was a little bit afraid of pushing some of my more out there ideas into the story, and the first draft wasn't that good. It lacked a lot of the personal details. It lacked most of the Institute stuff. the characters. A lot was implied. It relied very heavily on the player just making connections, which the game does now too, but there was just too much. Like, you really had to figure out the entire story from almost nothing, and that didn't work. So at that point, I did a very extensive rewrite of everything. Not ELOHIM, but most of the text that you find, the static text, and also Alexander Drennan, as I will have mentioned somewhere else. I really just went at it again, almost from scratch, and I really expanded it. I added a lot more character, a lot more messiness. Something that I really believe in is adding messy human details into stories. Like, for example, the fact that they can't decide on a proper name for the robot, and they end up going with 2 names in the end because it just kind of became a mess and they could never decide. Or things that are unfinished or clunky, or things like that, where it's just, this is how we actually live as human beings. It's never perfect, it's never ideal, and it never takes like this perfect story-like form. There's always a bit of a mess, and I like to include that in stories when I can, because I do think it brings out the humanity, and I think that was the purpose of the second draft above all, was to just bring out the humanity, take it from theory into, everyday experience. And I think that gave it a lot of additional weight, and just made people become a lot more invested in the stories of these individual people in a way that, really just gave the game more meaning, and the entire series more meaning. And we can then also call back to these things in Talos 2 with, calling back to these character names, actually meeting Trevor, and hearing things that are named after some of the other characters, or reading text by them, and so on.
Nice. My controller is not working quite right. The left trigger is not picking up the item. So I'm gonna have to see if I messed something up in the options. Luckily, it seems to all work with the right trigger. So let me just go in here real quick. Controls. Interface? What is it? Controller button bindings. Restore default. Let's see if that worked. There we go. Weird. Yeah, so I like what I heard in there about the story, the characters, and going into Talos 2 and more human-like. Don't really have a lot to say about that. I mean, it's great. I mean, I love these games. Some of these challenges must be designed with cooperation in mind, but I'm the only one here. I think it's funny how that, like, it's painted into the indented hieroglyphs. There's so many of these buckets. I guess you must be able to repeat stuff. Double plate. Oh, I see. Thought you had to step on both of them to open one. This is so convenient. I love the pause points. Oh. It was kind of a thing back in the day in puzzle games to have, like, timing stuff where you have to plan out your timing and then you do your other thing. And when I played this game the first time around, there was just a lot of that. You know, it was try it and see if I can do it fast enough and with the right timing as I was just going. Sure, I could stick around here, set my hopes on eternal life, on righting every wrong. The closest I'll ever get is these words on the wall before you. You could also try solving all the puzzles. You don't have to right all the wrongs. It's a tall order for a life. Redundant power supply. Do we have to block both of them? Well, let's get ourselves a box. I was worried that I missed. Now, how do we get these? We put it here. Just stand there. I did forget how much body blocking there was in this game. So we've got to block both of them and open this and go through. Stop you doing that. And this, of course, doesn't block the laser. Alright, I am here in a puzzle again. I gotta figure out how to do it. Oh, maybe it's time. Maybe it takes a long time to turn back on. Aren't like stars in there, are they? Run, run, run! Gotcha! Ah, well that's still on. Whoops. Get off of there. Yeah! Now don't just, like, it was suggested to me by one of you guys to look for people who had already made puzzles and need story for it. But I don't know, this might just be me wanting to just do everything by myself. But like, I want there to be, yeah, just me not being much of a team player. I want the puzzles to reflect the story that's going on and the ideas. So I want to like metaphorically have it happening in the puzzles and what you have to do. No, that might be too hard. But it is gonna be what it is gonna be. Epitaph child program, codename terminated here. Fatal flaw in series firmware. Final memory dump. Life short. Progeny programs dog. I don't actually know what firmware is. The computer thing. I know hardware and software, but not firmware. The burning heart always looks to the highest peak. And there's a receptacle somewhere on here, and it like opens the front of the Sphinx? Or is it like you can connect to its nose or something? I don't remember.
DNA is information transmitted across time. The living and the dead are part of the same chain, bound together by chemistry. That's true of all species. But humanity has taken this bond further. Thanks to technology, we have access to the thoughts and ideas of people whose physical bodies are long gone. Like you listening to me now. Even though I'm definitely dead at this point, you're part of that chain. You have the capacity to remember.
Yep. Into the theme of evolution and being a part of something. They're just giving those out for free. It seems that mistakes are easily forgiven here. I thought it surely died, yet here I am, reset, rebooted, reborn. I will tackle these challenges anew. Child program Samsara. Program failed to pass random memory test. Being torn limb from limb by machines for the rest of eternity becomes less and less appealing to me. Progeny Samsara again. There was a leak in the memory where they got to remember all their, or had to remember all their past experiences. Alright, what if I put one of these behind a box? Is that enough? Oh, I can't reach the... And there's a star back here, if I remember. We get on top of the walls and on top of this thing and ride our way over there. Right. If I sync these bots up, now maybe the laser will make it there. I can't wait to get out of the desert world. My stomach doesn't like it here. That sure takes a long time. That one takes some time. Maybe we can make it? Yeah! Alright, can I have another box? Yes, actually. Okay. Here we go. Yeah, I'll take this fan with me. Oh wait. Oh, ho, ho, ho. If you don't mind, I don't mind if I take this out with me. Haha. I don't remember what to do with them, but I have them. Is there one on top of the pyramid? There is, okay. Yeah. Oh, that's a source. And can I attach anywhere to the Sphinx? Oh. Oh, the prompt's going back and forth because I'm using both the controller and the... Alright, it might not be on the Sphinx. Alright, I don't remember where the connector thing is. It might actually be in the stomach. Oh no, there it is. Okay. Yeah, that puzzle. I remember spending, I think, possibly hours on it trying to figure it out. Not able to find either of those. Anyway, we got another puzzle up over here. Man, I want to thank you guys for letting me know about the developer commentary, because if I were just solving the puzzles and going by the story again, I would be bored by now.
What is this? I shall not allow the corruption of my garden. Be gone!
Oh, it was the wrong walls. I was like, what's wrong? Those walls from the previous world, or maybe the next world? So close yet so far. Alright, blow it to me. Never mind. We're going back the other way first. Okay, this makes a fan. Alright, we got 3 connectors. Now it's time to go back again. Want the source. Because then we use this one. Connect to here. And then this one gets here. Box and thank you. The box broke the connection. Okay, we need a red in here. So we get a box and we take out all this stuff. And we don't need to worry about connecting this one anywhere. We just need to bring all the items in. Well, not just, I should say. There's that, and then we have another connector, right? Yeah. Can we see it? We can probably see it through the closed door. Yeah. I like how there's a big hitbox for selecting things. If you're far away, then you can... Yeah. I think they expanded that. And with one connector, we may open the door. Think. Nope. But it's good. Because we still have this one unused. There we go. That is the desert world down. I will be more than happy to get out of here. So we missed some stars, we missed some Easter eggs. We got all of them, but not all the Easter eggs. We got all the stars in the first playthrough. What up, friend? We shouldn't talk over these terminals. Quick, tell me the word. What happened? Let's stall. Don't know how long we have. Must type quick in case something happens. The word is faith. Ending. Error. Network connection lost. Plain language interface. So it's like you're trying to we think we're talking with somebody else who's telling us the password out of here and like going behind the backs of Milton and ELOHIM, and then we're just gonna be like, haha, it was me the whole time. There was a problem with your request, administrator. It was flat out unreasonable. Why persist with these inquiries when they're so hopeless? I'll tell you what, if you promise never to access the communications portal again, we'll say no more about it. Sure, insincere. Faith, not a chance. Sure, let's be sincere. Type sure, parentheses, sincere. That is oddly compliant of you. In that case, I think I've changed my mind. Not only will your communication access be restricted, but your typing privileges will be totally revoked. You have any final words? As if you dare. As if I care. Nice knowing you. That's Do you realize I just gave you 2 separate opportunities to use the code word you were given under increasing pressure, and you refrained both times? Tell me honestly, why? I forgot about it. I wasn't sure what it would do. I didn't feel it was especially necessary. Oh. I was rather hoping you might have foiled my little scheme. I put together this code word nonsense to see if you'd really taken sermons to heart. Turns out you succeeded by chance. Well, I didn't have any other options, I think. I couldn't tell him that I figured it out. There's no one on the other end of the communications portal. There's no magic word that shuts down the server. There's only me, and you, and an eternity of doubt. Everything else is just a convenient lie to keep you on the treadmill. There may be no worlds but this one, but there is truth to be found. I understand now. I can't trust anything I see here. Wait, you tricked me? That fact didn't stop you buying into a secret word that somehow deactivates the entire world, did it? Are you kidding me or what? So did we have the option to not buy into it? I thought I was throwing him off the scent, but maybe this text always appears no matter what you choose? Do you remember when we first met, we had that talk about not believing everything you see, and yet all it took to catch you out was a little technobabble and a change of formatting. Hello, I'm all alone and scared, just like you. I'll agree with anything you say if it makes you believe me. Are you usually so restless with where you place your faith? Yes. You know, I'm not really checking your profile. I just do that to make you feel more comfortable. Really, I just remember everything you ever said. At any rate, I'd agree. But you know what? I'll accept that I've rather dominated this discourse. I've been asking a lot of questions and I've not really given you a chance. Why don't you have one free question on me, and I'll answer it as honestly as I possibly can. No tricks. Think careful before asking. I had something I was thinking of saying, but what was it? I forgot. Oh, checking user profile. That reminds me of, like, when there's a big Windows update, and you turn on your computer, and a message pops up that says, "We're getting your computer ready." It's like, no, there's no team of people who are working on my computer, and if there was, I want them to stop, because this is my computer. Stop spying on me. What am I? What is your name? How is this place related to the human world? What happened to the person I was talking to? What are you? How do I get out of here? What's at the top of the tower? I don't care to question you. Yeah, he doesn't know anything. I kind of want to do this one just to be like, for him to be like, wait, I already told you they're not real. You're running slow. I made them up. They never existed. If it makes you doubt everything you've seen, good. It should. You're seeing the shadows, my friend, when you should be watching the puppeteer. Are you satisfied? No. As if I particularly care either way. So look, here's the rub. Feel free to access the library. No better cure for broken beliefs, realizing everyone's got them. You can ignore me entirely. You can climb to the very top of that madman's tower and drink from the golden nectar there. But once you understand that, you and I will be stuck here together for the duration to come back and pass the time. He's seeing you. Bye. Well, what you don't get is that I'm messing with you right back. I see through everything you say because I've played the game before.
The land of tombs is yours now. And let this be a lesson that only through faith may death be conquered.
Only through faith may death be conquered. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. The lights ran out. I find it weird that you have to highlight the exact button you want to press. There's only 2 of them. Let me highlight the panel and then automatically click the one. Oh, some frame drops. Alright, that's 2 out of 3 down. And we can get, when we go into the tower, we can get some items out and use them to get a star out here. At least 1, maybe 2? Don't remember. This must be the tower we were warned about. It seems the upper levels are locked tight. Elohim's taken no chances that we stray from his path. We're going through the independence check. You know, it seems kind of funny that the thing that lets you into the real world and become humanity, the Humanity 2.0, is not following instructions. It's like, of all the qualities they could have selected for, it is being smart enough to solve puzzles and then selfish enough to not do as you're told. I mean, yeah, some good people do that, but you know, some of the people who act like that are not good. Like, you know, psychopaths. Did we read all these? Yeah. The God has given me domain over these lands. Wait a minute. No, give me domain over these lands. Man, I've been playing so much Dark Souls, I wanted to roll into this barrel and break it. Okay. Let's do this. It's too big to be fun. Yeah, almost. There we go. The last land before I've conquered this world. Samurite. I assume you're counting the secret islands? I hate you. Ah, come on. That's not something to get upset about. Is there a computer in here? More bad replicas of Forgotten Worlds. Can't wait. Took the words right out of my mouth. There must be something deeper, something more profound than what I am, something greater. I must tear at it, shred this fake world, to find the truth, to find myself. We've made it this far. You only need the red ones to climb the tower, and though these are the last of them. The reds are a lie! Green is the color of eternal life! Yeah, that program's not surviving. There's a computer up on each of these. Oh, here it is. Oh, I already looked at it. That's right.
You have come far, my child, succeeding where so many before
There is a
you
big
failed.
hitbox on the buttons.
You have walked through a land of ruins and a land of death. Now the land of faith lies before you. And know that as you have shown faith in me, so do I have faith in you.
And so when I was a kid, I was brought up like very religious and like literally religious. So like we had our interpretation of the Bible, and it was thought of as the truth, and obviously the truth as it is written. And so my concept of faith was believing the truth of that narrative despite any evidence to the contrary. Like, you get some evidence to the contrary and you're like, no, I must reject this evidence and stick true to the narrative that I know is the truth. And obviously that is bad. That is not good. I wonder if any of these are fake. But there's another definition of faith, which is not quite. Another definition of faith, which the way I see faith now, not being religious anymore, is... This square is giving me problems. The way I see faith now is... God, can I finish my thought? It's now like remembering stuff that you don't feel anymore, right? So remembering evidence, or remembering stuff that used to be evidence, to be like when you're happy, when you're looking forward to the future and tomorrow, and you're excited. Did that just pop out of the ground? And you think of like things that give life meaning, and you feel that things give life meaning.
Journey and learned much. You have served our cause with the truest faith. Therefore, I name you blessed and beloved. Wield these, the instruments of our power, to fulfill your purpose and achieve eternal life.
Yay. And so then after that, like in other times, you wake up and you feel grumpy, you feel sad, and you're like, oh man, I gotta get up. Why do I want to get up in the morning? What's the point? Oh hey, we actually still get these. Attack. Go. What is there to break in this game? Break down this door. Yeah, so in those times when you're like, oh man, I can't remember, why do I get up? Why do I go to school? Why do I go to work? You know, why should I care about the people in my life? Those times are when you remember that even though you don't remember why, you have faith that there is a reason. You know, you're like, I remember having a reason before. I don't remember what that reason is now.
The gates of eternity. When all your trials have been overcome, the gates will open, and you will be granted life everlasting.
And life everlasting as my DNA goes to the next guy. Yeah. So that's how I think of faith. And it really, for me, it came from, when I, like right before my channel, my whole life up before my channel, there were things about life and about people that I did not understand and I didn't know existed. Like a year before I started my channel, I started cleaning my room regularly and exercising daily, and that changed my life. And I didn't comprehend, like, before I did that, I didn't know that life could be changed that way. You know, just feeling better on a daily basis because your muscles move the way they're supposed to, you know? And so then that was really the point when I started having faith was, you know, and at that time I was very depressed and paralyzingly anxious. And once I started realizing there are things I can do to make those better, rather than just like curl up in a ball and hope it automatically gets better, that was when I started to have what I now call faith. Which is, you know, even in those moments when I don't, like, I still have moments when nothing feels meaningful to me, and I'm just like, why do I do anything? There's no point to any of it. There's no reason. You know, nothing makes me happy. Like, why should I work? Why should I do chores? Why should I do this? And I can't think of the reason. You know, there are times when I'm like, oh yeah, this is the reason. This is what I can do. Remember that I am a part of the universe experiencing itself, given the opportunity to improve itself. Oh yeah, I can just remember that at any time, and I will, you know, that will remind me of the meaning of life. Well, then the times when I'm depressed, I can't remember that. But I do remember that I had a reason at one time, and that reason still, that logic and reasoning still applies, and so I have faith in my past self and in that reason, and that helps me get through the bad times. Anyway, that's my thoughts on faith these days. It's not about believing things that you have bad reasons for. It's about remembering things, or it's about believing things that you can't remember, but you know that you know.
Welcome to the temple. So you've progressed pretty far by now, and it's time to reveal something about the temple music. So the three massive temples in the game, they actually serve as a central hub for players to reach these small islands with puzzles. And I wanted these temples to evoke some sort of ancient divinity, some sense of awe and wonder. So I incorporated elements of sacral music into the tunes that are played here. You can probably hear the sound of church organs, choirs, chants, along with melodies, and it's all kind of rooted in this traditional European religious music. And it all contributes to the immersive atmosphere of these temples.
Yep, very, very common when there's big temples like this in video games. And this architecture, again, based on real cathedrals. This might be bigger than any real cathedral, though. Although I haven't been to any of those Renaissance cathedrals in Europe, so this might actually be real size. I know we tend to make things bigger in video games because we can. In real life, you know, it always takes... Anytime you make things bigger, it takes resources and money and labor.
Many ages have passed since the first words were spoken in the darkness. Initiate program. Generations of your kind have come and gone since those words. The garden has changed many times. But I remember. I remain. Only within me can you find immortality.
Initiate program. That kind of almost sounds like a troll or like a parody, right? Maybe that's the point, though. Apocryphal, or Apocrypha 1. The Apocrypha of Saint Eadwald. This vision was granted by the Archangel Uriel to the humble servant Eadwald, that he might bear testimony. I turned to the north and saw 7 black clouds coming down upon the land, and each cloud was a plague unleashed from the throne of God in the time of the Nephilim. In that age the plagues were buried in the pit, there to remain until the end of days, which was surely now come. I fell to my knees and prayed, and before me appeared 7 angels riding their chariots, wheels within wheels turning in the sky. Yep, biblically accurate angels. And their light hid the clouds from my sight. One angel stepped down onto the earth, and by his fiery sword I knew him to be Uriel. He spoke, saying, 7 plagues have awoken in the land, but not at the hand of ELOHIM. Look upon the wages of sin, and shall he send forth the deluge once more to cleanse the land of this evil? Shall he and all that slithers and all that crawls and the birds of the sky and the fishes of the sea to end that which you uncovered in your folly? So is this a real text or is St. Edwald made up for this game? Sarabai. Yeah, I'm just thinking back like to my early days, like the Bible was the word of God, but specifically the books agreed upon by the Nicene Creed. All the other biblical texts were not considered canon, like not word of God, and so not worth reading. Everything's dark and quiet. The stars are brighter than I've ever seen them. I can hear the faint sound of water high above. Inside, Alexandra is recording one of her time capsule messages while running tests on the scenario module. Arcadia is uploading another batch to the archive while muttering something about the MLA program. Amara is sleeping on the couch we put up yesterday. And I'm sitting here, writing this, having trouble believing it will ever end. That this oddly peaceful existence of ours won't just go on forever. I look at Talos and El and their purpose seems like something that's always going to be in the future. An ideal to work towards, not something that will become real. So the two names, Talos and Soma? I wasn't sure about the two names. I wonder if there will be quiet places in the simulation, places to rest without thinking about the future. I hope so. Everyone deserves some moments of peace. Hope. Hi, I hope you get this. The internet's been disappearing unpredictably. I want you to know that I'm going to try to get you. I know it's far and there's not a lot of time, but I think I can manage. I want to be with you, and the person on the road trying to get to you seems better than just staying here, so far away from you. At least I'll be as close as I can get. But hey, don't be sad. I might make it. I've thought about it, and the distance should be crossable on time, assuming the symptoms don't kick in before. See you soon, I love you. Yeah, talking about all the messy character stuff. It's so good. Let's go to a puzzle commentary before the story this time.
This is one of the earliest puzzles made, and it was created way back when the energy connectors worked a bit differently. The energy connector used to connect to every emitter and receiver inside when it was dropped. Thankfully, the later change to the connector mechanic did not make this puzzle obsolete, and with some minor modifications, it still ended up in the game.
This one's very memorable. Error again, it's not working. I don't know what's happening, but since this worked last time... Try it again. I mean, maybe just pausing and unpausing would make it work. Alright, we've got this. Is there a star here? No, that's just the end. There might be a star. No, I remember running around outside, like trying to find ways to connect into this puzzle from a connector outside. I think there's a receptacle outside. So many connectors. I hope that siren doesn't get too loud. Alright, we need to get the blue all the way through. So we need to... Okay, I see. So we need to... So we can't cross the lasers. So we need to get it through here. We put a blue one here and then take this one out. And then we disconnect this one. But then we connect it here again. So that we have that open. Alright, now we have a blue right here. And no crossing. What up, Tom? Probably, since it's next to the computer.
So, the next beat in the Milton plot is this bit where you apparently convince him that consciousness isn't real, and therefore you've passed the certification test to become an administrator. And there's this whole sequence where you apparently access the comms portal and talk to another person. But of course, that other person is just Milton messing with you. And I've never really been sure if I pulled this one off or not. I haven't read much about what people think of this particular turn. It's always very tricky as a writer when you're doing a rug pull, because you need to set up the rug pull and give clues, but they can't be so obvious that it's not a surprise when the rug's pulled. And I don't know if I got the balance right, because like I've set up this Milton thing to like I've trained player not to trust what they see on this terminal. So when you start talking to a person on the terminal, you've got pretty good reason not to trust it. And I'd love to know what proportion of players, maybe you can tell me on Twitter, what proportion believed they were talking to another person versus didn't. But the important thing is you get the chance to demonstrate whether you believe it or not, because when you next talk to Milton, you can use the supposedly secret password, which is faith, to try and shut him down and escape to the real world. Or you can express skepticism of that and not try and use it. So I don't know if that sequence works, but it did serve an important purpose, which is to provide a crux point to this question of, do we have faith in what is delivered to us by our senses? And that's then a jumping off point for Milton to go full nihilist. And that then segues into the final endgame sequence, really. Milton starts asking, what is going to happen when you climb the tower? You're getting close to the tower. And something that actually surprised me and affected me, I'm watching back the Milton dialogues on YouTube. And he says, suppose you escape to the real world. Suppose you're in charge of the Ark. Who are you going to save? Who are you going to take with you? And of course, he argues with whatever you say. But the bit that caught me was at the end. Whatever you say, he's like, so does that include me? And I think it's the first time, and one of the only times in the game, where he shows a bit of vulnerability, and you've got something over him. And it's really the first core assessment of what is your relationship to Milton? What is your relationship to skepticism and logic? Is he a good guy to you, or a bad guy to you, or just another part of life? And I found that quite touching.
Yeah, I think he does it really well. I enjoyed the whole thing the first time around. You know, I had fun with it the second time around, even though I knew it was him. Right? I don't think I noticed it the first time around, but I'm totally fine with that. You know, I was like, oh, that's I don't know if it was like that's a cool twist or, oh yeah, I figured it out. I don't remember. I do remember I tried the word. The blue one and a red one. No, the blue one's for the fan. Alright, this puzzle's kind of getting to me. It's kind of complicated. We're in the third world. Of course, it's going to be more challenging than before. I can get this in here. Start this fan. But it can only be going... I can toss the box over there. I guess I probably... I don't know why I need the box over there. It's the leap of faith. I don't know. Maybe if I was over there? So over here, you can open this. You cannot open it with a laser. Only if you had more connectors. What am I trying to do? I may have just lost a box. So I can't get over there. I think maybe that's supposed to be for later. Bring this box back to me. Alright, there it is. I could also take the fan if that mattered. Okay. So... there's nothing like in here, right? I don't think so. What's this red? I've only got one connector. I can't connect to anything out here. Can I... oh, there's a blue source. Right, I used it. I see this. There we go. One little piece at a time. I'll take you. Now I want the boxes over here. Just one will do. A lot of operations for this one. Alright, there goes the box. Oh, I didn't need this anymore. Okay. Wonder if I could have brought the jammer right over here and... oh, okay, you can't see it. Jammed that with it. Cheese the puzzle. Alright! It's a little hard to see all this green and like bright green. The bumblebee pattern doesn't stand out as much this time. Oh, there's a puzzle that way. Labyrinth. You're not kidding. Those keys hidden somewhere. What are we walking past? There's mines in there, there's guns over here. One jammer. We need 3. Okay, what's in here? Other side of the key door. Thank you. Okay, now we can take the jammer around and get it in there. Alright, there's one more other thing we want to see if...
those who are worthy may
shut up,
seek
I've heard
the
you say this
counsel
before.
of my blessed messengers.
Need 2 jams.
But their wisdom shall not be given easily, for
2
your
strawberry jams to get in there.
must be your own.
Nothing else over there, I think. Avoid the dangers or have to do this all over again. I'm glad there weren't mines in the second game. There we go. I'm gonna hop over here. Hope you don't mind. Might be faster to just do it like this. Mine. All the back and forth, the running, and it's like, even if you know how to solve the puzzles, it still takes time. I think for Talos 2 they abbreviated it TTS, time to solve. And they worked on, so in Talos 2 there's definitely much less running around inside of puzzles. Alright, all three. And there may be another mine in our path. Or not. Nope, no mine. Gotta run all the way around with all three. One. Up. Lots of running. Yeah, all the puzzles in my mod will be faster. Much less aimless running. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this is also an early puzzle. This was also in the early days of indie games, right? And there weren't a lot of puzzle games to work off of. Now we got Baba Is You and Steven's Sausage Roll and Bonfire Peaks and so many games. So many, The Witness, so many great games, great puzzle games where we've refined the techniques for how to make great puzzles. And so Talos 2 has definitely benefited from that. Milton is back. Oh, you came back to keep me company? Okay then, humor me with a little hypothetical. Imagine that a few hours from now you climb to the top of that tower. There's a flash of light, then magic happens. Then you find yourself in the real world, living whatever you take to be a normal life there. What would you do then? What's best for me? What's right? I mean, they're not necessarily different. I mean, they can be different. I'll start with what's best for me, and if that turns out not to be right, then I'll do something else instead. Yes, that's the general impression I was getting off of you. Oh yes, definitely. Based on all of my past choices, and definitely not just this one. Good. Perhaps we won't have to work so hard at this after all. Before we continue though, I want to double check we're on the same wavelength here. Suppose you get out there with all the human beings, what are you gonna do? What you're gonna do is rinse them for all they've got without a care for a soul? Precisely. No, I'd only do what's best for me within a moral framework. Well, that's not how I would put it, but it's the only option that isn't precisely. Ah, so you do have some scruples after all. So tell me, this obligation you feel, is it only applicable to the real world, or does it apply here as well? Moral laws only apply under special conditions. Moral laws are universal. I would say universal. You know, my hesitation is like, oh, do I call it moral laws? Because, you know, the, quote, meaning of life you learn in Talos 2 is much closer to my actual moral views. You know, it's not that there's a logical framework that we follow the rules to. It's that we have an internal compass of compassion and reason, and we use those together along with observation and understanding what's actually going on in the world around us and the acknowledgement of other people and a lot of stuff. and we figure it out as we go. So that's really my moral views. You know, I don't like the formula. Okay, now he's asking for formulas, and again, he's gonna give me a bunch of options that none of them are the ones that I actually want. What a magnanimous dictator you would make. Of course, I'm sure it would take a dictator to enforce a single moral code on the entire universe. No, it doesn't have to be enforced, it just has to exist. So come on then, what's your magic formula of choice? The more equal everyone share, the better. Consequences don't matter, our reasons to, frick that. The more goodness in the world, the better. I see no way to explain what I believe. Yeah, certainly not giving these choices. That's right, blame me for the fact your theory is too complex to express in neat algorithm aphorisms. Why don't you think a little harder? Maybe some new ideas will come to you. Oh hey, more options. The less suffering in the world, the better. Now that one has an obvious flaw in that if you kill everyone and everything, that's the least amount of suffering. True goodness can only be attained through enlightenment. I don't agree with that. There are many good people who are not enlightened. Everyone should look out for their kin, no more than that. That's a weird universal role. It's something, this is usually something that like, people are like, oh, I should look out for my kin and then not care about anybody else. But saying that everyone should look out for the kin and no more, that's kind of weird. Only by abstaining from pleasure can we discover the good. What the? Who? Okay. Do you know of anybody, Let's Player or not, who actually chose this? It's a video game, for goodness sake. Who is like, oh no, I played this game because I was forced to. I hate it. I'm not having any fun, so I have to choose this one. I kind of want to, just for the entertainment of it. The more equal, that's the same thing. Still don't see an option that I can get behind. You misunderstand me. I just don't know what to believe. I'm gonna choose this one, because I'm sure none of you, unless you've played through like 10 times or saved, reloaded saves, you've probably never seen this. Well, I'm sorry, but that is one of the many ideas which I have no interest in discussing. It gets so messy so quickly, and I don't have all the time in the world to argue with you. A little joke there, because really we have the rest of time if we need it. Still, you will have to argue as best you can along the lines we have embarked on, or else go somewhere else and fixate on how clever you are. No fun allowed! The more goodness in the world, the better. Let's be as vague as we vague and circular as we can. Ah, that old chestnut. So just what is this goodness that we're seeking to maximize? Happiness, liberty, wealth, equity, equality, which is different from equity. Basic goods like food and healthcare. I'm not in a position to solve these problems. All of the above. No, it's goodness. Can you read my lips? I said goodness. We maximize goodness. Wealth. Everyone must be rich. Equality, happiness, liberty. I mean, liberty is a pretty good one. Assuming we're applying it to all people and not just those who have good business chops. I'm not in a position to solve these problems. Admitting the problems are beyond your comprehension is the first step to letting go. I'll allow you to contemplate these matters further before contacting you again. No, I mean like I can't maximize happiness in the world. That's why I can't, that's what I was saying. I am not powerful enough to be the force that maximizes happiness in the world.
Sometimes I think about the Middle Ages, about what it must have been like to live in the ruins of a great civilization, to know that so much has been lost. But then I remind myself that while the West sank into darkness, others picked up the pieces. That civilization always survived because the great insights of philosophy and science are not bound to any one culture or people. They belong to all of us, and one day they'll belong to you.
Heck yeah, that is something to really like immerse ourselves with and continue to get better at and better at over time. You know, one of the reasons why I play so many games by so many teams around the world is because we're all on this world together trying to figure out how to coexist.
To showcase our game to our players and to test in front of the live audience, we took part in several live gaming events like E3 and Gamescom. And for these events, we needed to create a special demo that would feature one level and a mix of several puzzles. So we started with introductory, with easy puzzles, tutorial puzzles, and then gradually introduced more and more challenging ones. And we observed how the visitors at the Croteam would play the demo and carefully observed their reactions. And then we get home, we discussed what we saw some problems when people didn't understand something or identified actually some issues and fixed them in several iterations. So this iterative process helped us at the end to polish the demo and make it very, very smooth and enjoyable.
That poster with the robot and the cat,
launched, we
genius.
Demo on Steam as a free download, and we received really overwhelming enthusiastic feedback from the players that quite enjoyed the demo.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine final product is one of the best
we actually got textures for
top tier games of all time
from photos we took at Carcassonne in France. Back then, we had this problem. The textures were just flat images, and we couldn't get any good automated depth maps from them. AI just wasn't there yet. So we ended up hand painting all of the depth maps ourselves. It was a lot of work, but it really paid off. Doubly so when we remastered the game in Unreal. We could finally turn those flat walls into proper 3D geometry.
That sounds like a lot of work. I mean, old texturing was a funny thing. Like, I'm remembering Nintendo 64. There's, you know, whatever you grow up with, you have a special fondness for. I love original textured Ocarina of Time. It is so much fun. If I put this up, okay, here we go. I'm actually, oops, I want those connected. It's like, and then I played many ROM hacks of Super Mario 64. I thought about doing some for my channel, and then I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna do anything emulator related, just to be safe. But just those flat geometry and stretched out textures, it looks ugly according to modern standards, but for me, it brings back childhood. There's something deeply beautiful about it. Okay, I see it. I think I see another box over here. We need to get that other box. We might need a third box if we want to put the connector on top of two boxes. Oh, no, I remember, like, you turn the fan on and then you put the box underneath it. Possibly. Oh, there's more connectors too. Well, but we can't see them from back here. What do we do? There's no more buttons. Can we... like reach around? We can get to there. Okay, that's what we do. Man, guys, I can't wait till Talos Principle 3. They're probably, I imagine they've started writing it. It's probably in the very early stages. It'll probably be another 5 years or more before it comes out. But like after Talos 1 and Talos 2, and now they have a post-scarcity civilization, it's rare to have a story about a post-scarcity civilization. I mean, there's Star Trek, there's the culture, there's... I just got another box, okay, cool. And there's... Talos Principle 3. And that's about it. Do I need all 3 boxes on there? Nope. Oh, that's is that above the wall? Can we see over it? We might actually be able to see all the way here from it. Nope. Nope. But with the 3rd box we can. So, yep. Yep. Keep them connections. Put the stuff back on. No. Yeah. Second box. Now it stays up. 3rd box. Such unrealistic fan physics. It's blowing on the bottom one, so that means there has to be this much space beneath the bottom one. If there's more weight, then it sinks lower because the fan has to exert more force to keep it up. Let's go! Alright, and then that is gonna have to be it for this episode because I have something to do right about now. So next time... Oh, this is so beautiful. Next time we will go into some more worlds of World 3. Or World C. Does ELOHIM have any last words for us before we go? Nope. Alright. See you then.